Hey up troops, it's A Littleton here again with a croaky voice and another video. I've just got back from the Berlin Major like 2 hours ago. Obviously I couldn't record the video when I was over there, but we're going to go through and watch the season reveal trailer that was revealed yesterday at the end of the Major, or during the Major, at the beginning of the Major I think. And I'll go through what my thoughts are, what I think the biggest changes are for this coming season, and trust me when I say I think there's some really good things happening. So look, apologies about the croaky voice. I'm outrageously hungover after being in Berlin for 4 days. Without any more waffling, let's get stuck right into it. Right then, let's get stuck into it.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Operation Brutal Swarm.
Hello.
I'm Camille Salazar.
Hey Camille, good to see you again.
We're talking Nighthaven. There's always been some tension between them and Team Rainbow, and this season, a new operator is joining their ranks. What's their deal?
What's their deal? What is their deal, Camille?
And to share
That
more
rhymes.
on everything that's coming in this season.
This is what we want.
Season 3, Operation Brutal Swarm
Is
a
Alex?
huge season for us. It's setting a lot of the foundational pillars that we want to build off of in the coming seasons. And so there's some big stuff coming. We have Grim, who's a new operator from Singapore.
He's got a Covera badge on.
Nighthaven, who's a fantastic...
Just going to pause this quickly, and I'm just going to say I'm over the moon with the character design because it's sort of gone back. You know, it's not like the goofy character design that we've seen in the past. He's like Grim's a sort of real soldier as such, which I think is a really good addition into CGM.
aggressive...
A little bit back to the roots, what the character
We
design
also
used to be
have
like.
an additional map coming to the mix that we hadn't planned on before, and it's a nice surprise for our community.
Stadium.
And we have some interesting updates that are really important to us too, such as the reputation system, the next phase of it coming online. This season focuses on a squad that you already know. It's Nighthaven. It's led by Callie, and it's officially split off from the Rainbow Six group.
I'm not mad into all the lore, if I'm honest. If I'm brutally honest with you, I'm not mad into it. But I get people are. I just don't. I don't know.
Already communicated with the community.
I think I don't fully understand it. Like, why have they broken off?
We saw our map from season 3 slip to season 4, but we also wanted to create some surprises as well, which is an additional map that you all know and love already.
Yeah.
We also wanted to highlight some of the changes that we're making to the reputation system. We're introducing some features today in the new season, but they also set up new changes for the next season as well.
Cheers, fella.
Now that you've heard more about what's
Meal's
coming,
back.
it's time to see it in action. Here's a teaser of Operation Brutal Swarm gameplay from our friend Chris Waters and the Ubisoft News team.
Now, just a quick one. I have played this already, so what we're about to watch, I've played the character, so I'll try and give you like a bit of a scoop as we're watching it. I'll be able to explain things a little bit.
Things are looking grim for any defenders who
Things
like
are
to
looking
stay
grim.
undetected as Operation Brutal Swarm brings a new intel gathering operator to the attack. His name is Grim, and his K1 Hive launcher gadget can reveal enemy positions from a safe distance with bees. Micro air vehicles, technically, but once you're in the swarm and
Micro
getting
air
beat
vehicles.
repeatedly, you'll have bigger problems to deal with. Operation Brutal Swarm is also introducing the Stadium map into the competitive pool, as well as updating the recoil system and making weapon attachments.
The recoil system's a big change, by the way. When we get, I'll explain that when we get into that later on. And this is huge as well. I think we might see Thatcher not being as banned anywhere near as much.
Operation Brutal Swarm, and your deeper look at it all continues now.
What a lovely voice this fella, isn't he?
Grim joins the attackers with a high-tech gadget that can shake up the defenders' positions. Our game designer, Matthew Lacombe, is here to give you more intel about it, but first, we're going to dive into the design and development of Grim with concept artist Sunshine Kim and director of gameplay design Jeremy Cavan.
Our character concept artist, NJ Tutai, who worked on
Hey, Sunshine.
iconic Seas operators such as Sledge, Valkyrie, Lion, and Nook, has brought us another amazing design for our newest operator, Grim. This one was an interesting assignment for us because Grim is a very traditional...
All three of those
ground
designs are cool,
soldier
man.
Who might not be seen as a member of Nighthaven at first sight. We see this traditional soldier like Grim standing among all these colorful operators, which creates this interesting dynamic. And Grim's supposed to be a little bit outcast, and he needs to stand out a little bit. So it creates an interesting question: why does this guy belong to Nighthaven?
See, this is all the stuff that just doesn't really do much for me. Like, why is he in Nighthaven? What even is Nighthaven? I don't know, man. Maybe I need to get into the lore side of things, man.
Like the history of Grim's life, the countless battles and missions that he's been
Sweet
through.
haircut,
So
man.
we researched a lot of MMA fighters and athletes to really capture that history of a veteran soldier. What I personally really like about Grim is that he's a big, giant, buffed guy that tries
Go on, sunshine.
kind of silhouette, at least in Asian male characters in our game just yet.
It is a really, really
to
nice
create
design, man.
Grim's device, there is something that we always wanted to add into Rainbow Six, and these are microtech gadgets. We thought that there was a very rich fantasy that could lead to really interesting visual experiences. Grim's gadget is made of a few parts. The tracking device is a microtech bot. We call it B-bot. It can fly in the air, it's battery powered, and it can last for a couple of seconds. In idle position,
It's 8 seconds to be exact.
this bot is plugged into a bulletproof electronic canister. And when this canister lands on a valid position, the swarm spreads out of it. This canister is protected by a projectile that can open when it's stick on a valid surface. And finally, we wanted to play with the mix between low-tech and high-tech to create a unique identity for this operator. And that's why we gave him this over-the-shoulder classic launcher.
It is a really, really cool gadget, and it will get used.
We really like the feeling when you are inside the swarm. We really love this feeling, and we are thrilled to present that to our player today.
Yeah, having been shot by the bees or being stuck in this swarm of bees, it's a unique experience, man. It's like really loud. The bees are buzzing. You can see it on your screen there that they follow you around like that for a while.
The Kawan Hive launcher is Grim's gadget. It's a over-the-shoulder bazooka kind of launcher. You equip it similar to what you would do with Ashe or Zofia. It shoots a projectile that will travel in a straight line. It will stick to the surface it's shot at. Once it sticks to the surface, it will
Notice
release
there's
the
no
cannon.
cooldown
If it's
between
on
the
floor,
shots.
It will just open.
And he gets
Effect
5 of
will take
those.
place there. If it's stuck on the wall, it will propel it down on the floor. So the effect will be generated from this canister. The effect itself is a swarm of bots, really a cloud of robotic bees. They reveal any defenders that would be inside the swarm. They will be tracked in live action, so the red mark will follow them as they move around. And last part is the decay and the debuff that you will have once you leave the swarm. This is the small bees that...
But just a point, when I first watched that video, you see the character, whoever they're playing as, it was a Rooney, just took some damage, like they're down on 74 HP. That was because they got shot through the wall. That's not to do with the bees. The bees don't do any damage.
To you as you leave. You will get pinged 3 times in a short period of time, similar to the alibi decoy that we have in the game already. We're really happy to tell you that Grim is a 3-speed 1.
So just to break that down slightly, what happens is these bees cover an area that's 4 meters by 4 meters. The original swarm lasts for 8 seconds. Any defender that's in that original swarm is constantly red pinged for the entire time that they're in that swarm. As soon as they leave the swarm, you start getting tracked and you get pinged 3 times, a bit like a jackal track, or if you've shot an alibi prisma. I can't remember the exact timings, but it's something along the lines of you get pinged after 1 second, you get pinged after 3 seconds, and you get pinged after 5 seconds. So even once you've left the original swarm, you get another 3 pings, which lasts around 8 seconds or so.
Health attacker. It's been a while since we had one of those, and it really goes with the rest of the loadout. We have the 5.52 Commando as a primary assault rifle.
So sorry I keep stopping this, but there's important things I want to say. I think, unless someone can tell me otherwise, I'm fairly sure that Grim is the only attacker that has access to 1x sights. So on Grim's 5.52 Commando up here, the only sight that he has is 1x's. He doesn't have a 1.5, he doesn't have a 2. Obviously, it's the same with the shotgun. So I can't think of any other attacker that only has a 1x. Because the first person I think about is Ashe on the R4C, but then obviously Ashe has the G36 as well with the 1.5 on there. So
You know
I'm fairly sure he's the only one.
But we also have the shotgun, the SG CQB, as another primary option. It's one of the first time that we have an operator that uses a shotgun and is a 3-speed. If you remember, you remember. But
I mean, I'm sure you'll
for
probably
this
know,
time,
but
it's the first
I'm not a
name
shotgun man at all. But apparently, this is a really, really good shotgun.
For the secondary gadgets, we have the breach charge. It adds a layer of verticality to Grim. You can place the breach charge on the floor, shoot the gadget through the bars. So
Yeah, that's
you're
cool
now
as well. The
controlling
gadget goes through the bars between the floor, which is
top of
nice.
the floor. So it really adds another layer to this gadget. Or you can go with the Claymore. It's a really natural progression with this gadget. You shoot it in the doorway, there's no one in there because you don't have any marks, or there's no one, you don't hear anyone. You can go place a Claymore now. Like, you secured something, so it's really...
Yeah,
like
true. You can like clear out an area before you put the claymore down.
Grim's role is part entry. You want him inside the building first. You have a really good gadget to hunt down roamers.
I don't know if I would say he was an entry personally. I think he was more flex. I personally think. Because he gets 5 of these canisters.
Rooms with your gadget. You shoot this in a doorway, the defenders cannot go in there. Like, you know they won't cross this door, and if they do, everyone on the team will be alerted. We want to have an attacker that is about aggression. We've had...
Sorry, just whilst I'm thinking about it. When it comes to the launcher, when you fire it at a wall, it sticks to the wall. So what you can do, if you think about the hobo on Oregon, you know, the bed next to big window, what you could do is fire it at the ceiling, and then the bees will drop below exactly where you fire. So if you like a half wall on border, for example, you fire it at the ceiling, and then the bees would drop below.
Operators that were
A little bit like how Capitão's bolts
you
were.
had to think about what you were doing, but
That
Grim's
shotgun looks outrageous, man.
You have this launcher that denies some area. You have the assault rifle.
It burns
to take
ADS
areas.
as well.
So it's really, you're bringing the fight.
See, like, that's what I mean there. So you see how he... Let me just go back a tad.
Grimm's is a bit more on the instinct.
You see how he fired that at the ceiling then, and it dropped down below, like here. He fires it up,
Areas.
and it drops below behind that cupboard.
So it's
That's
really,
what I mean.
You're bringing the fight to them.
I'll just apologise one more time about my voice, by the way. I just, like I said, I just got back from the major, literally like 2 hours ago.
Have the red mark. Everyone on the team will
And
know that
I'm a bit rough.
if there's nothing, there's no red mark, well, everyone will know that there's no one in there. So you always succeed with this gadget. Operators like Nomad, Gridlock, they really help you secure the areas that you can attack with the Grim. If you know that there's a defender stuck inside a room and contesting this with Grim would be difficult, you can ask Sense or have a smoke grenade to block the line of sight. So
It's mad how you get no cooldown between the shots. You can just ping 5 of them out.
You know
Mad.
the opposing team has a lot of roamers, Caveras, Bandit, Vigil. You can ask the help from Jackal. He can track them down with with their footsteps. So if they move, they leave footsteps. If they move, they might get caught inside Grim.
Yeah, it's a really good point he brings up there, that Grim is going to work really well with a lot of different operators, like with Lion, with Dokkaebi, with Jackal. He's going to... You'd have to work well with your team.
You have this swarm that is creating on you, but Lion is going off. Do I move? Do I not move?
Yeah, exactly. Is he
Is
reading my mind?
Against the defending team. Mute is one of the greatest counter that we have to Grim. For Mute, if the canister is stuck...
Mute just gets stronger and stronger, man. What doesn't Mute counter anymore?
Swarm at all. So you will have to take care of the Mute Jammer first before having the effect. If you are standing in the radius of a Mute Jammer and there's a swarm around you, you won't be revealed. If you're affected by the debuff or the DK and you run inside the radius of a Mute Jammer, you will be cleansed. You can think of it similar to the call from Dokkaebi.
Yeah, so you can, just to reiterate that, you can run over a Mute Jammer,
Wamai, Aruni, or
and it'll stop the tracking.
Obviously, Wamai is the most fun one because it will displace the effect, but the other one...
So yeah, Wamai gadget, Wamai magnets, Jaeger ADS, Aruni's all stop the gadget. I think it's a really, really good design. I'm on board with it. I like it a lot.
Gadget, we made sure that there's a lot of specific timings. You can hear the shot, you will hear it stick, you will hear the canister opening, and then there will be the swarm. So there's a lot of timings that you will learn as you play against Grim, and each one of those is a warning that something is happening. So you have, as a player, the choice of running or fighting. Grim is a really aggressive attacker. We have the 3-speed, we have the good assault rifle, we have all of the tools to give you an attacker that is really in the face of
5.52 is very average.
So really an aggressive attacker.
Look at how easy you just cleared out that anchor point, though. That's what I mean, like...
At the launch of the last
Camille!
Operation Vector Glare, we let you know that the new map originally planned for this season would be delayed to next season. In the meantime, we've got a little surprise for you. The stadium map from
Camille loves it, doesn't she? She loves knowing something we don't.
Don't ban it. Don't do it. Don't ban it.
Yeah, don't ban it.
More on that later. Game designer Josem El Rene is here to share the good news and the details.
It's a good map, man. Like there's a lot of like rooms without cluttering, which is good.
We planned to bring you the Singapore map, but we needed some more time to tweak and finish our polished path. So instead, we will be bringing you something else, the stadium map.
Good map.
The stadium maps are usually only available during the Road to SI event, but it was kind of a missed opportunity to have them only available a couple of weeks while they are full-blown maps. So while internally,
So look, it's not great that
a lot of fun playing it.
It's not great that we had the new map delayed, but at least we've got something else, right?
We needed a little bit of outside feedback to be sure that it was ready to be brought to the ranked pool. So we asked a couple of pros to workshop and talked with us, and they had a lot of positive feedback about the map. That's pretty much it. We did a couple of tweaks here and there. We brought up the lighting so it's less dark, distributed the spawns so they're equally distributed. And finally, we added the game modes, the team deathmatch, and the PvE elements. We are very excited to bring you this map as a ranked map, or even.
Oh, shot, lad.
It will be
Not so much the second one.
Mainly because it is
Or the third one. First one was good though.
Feeling, because it's two maps that are merged together, something that our player know, but also there are some flavorful elements like the bulletproof glass, the fact that they are merged together. So it will bring a lot of exciting gameplay from our players. It's always fun to spawn from the gantry, going down toward the map itself. It's a safe and secure spawn.
It always makes me feel a bit queasy when I'm rappelling upside down like that. Yeah, good addition. I'll take that.
The team is always working on player behavior features. It's important to us, and we know.
I feel like I've heard a lot about the reputation system, but I don't know anything about it.
Director Emmanuel Larive to tell you about the next phase of the reputation system.
Let's watch this and maybe we'll find out.
As well as a long-awaited feature, the ability to report cheaters during match replay.
That's big, although, as we all think, does it have much effect? Who knows, but pretty big.
Last season, we introduced reputation penalties by adding
Naming no names, but as someone who plays in my stat quite a lot, Strafe
penalties toward the friendly
keeps
fight.
killing his teammates. Accidentally, I might add.
We will be adding a new penalty for abusive tech chat.
Good.
So the people that are abusing the tech chat by sending hateful and abusive content will be detected, they will be reported by users, and repeated often.
So there you go. Look, you abuse text that you are muted to others by default. I don't even know why we need an all chat, man. The all chat's just there to be like. When has anything good come from using all chat on PC? It hasn't, has it?
This new penalty.
I understand team chat because, you know, not everyone's got a mic or whatever, but why do you need to talk to the opposing team? It's just never going to go well.
That will be under this penalty will still be able to send text messages. However, only the people that choose to unmute him will be able to see those messages.
Oh, yeah.
It's really key that we give player choice. To
Yeah, I like that.
Somebody that
That's only a small change, but how many times do you get some idiot in the all chat? It happens a lot, man.
Be released, there will be a grace period. During this grace period, only warnings will be triggered, no sanction. After this grace period, repeated offender will be under this penalty. The goal will be to remove and reduce the amount of hateful and abusive content that you are receiving through the tech chat.
Just remove the all chat.
We want to create a positive environment for everybody. It is key.
Mate, how good is this shotgun?
It's key, and we want to provide a safer environment.
I'm going to have a little blast on that.
Match replay is a great addition to the game. It allows you to rewatch.
So yeah, you can click on the name on the right side now. Hey, notice that EMP then? We're coming on to that a bit later.
Voice is really important. So that's why with Season 3, we will be including reporting options.
That's big.
We totally understand that during a live match, you are not
Just hopefully it gets action.
A player. Sometimes the player disconnected, so there is many scenarios. By adding those options to the match replay, you will be able to take the time to review the whole gameplay and report this person. Reporting is really important and key for us. While receiving the reporting, we will be able to investigate
and take actions.
Good.
This will
Make sure you do take actions,
help
please.
us to improve our system, but also to better act on those cheaters and distribute the right sanction at the right moment.
Right.
Your voice is really important. It is key for us. So please continue and use those reporting tools.
Nice one.
This new addition to the game will be available on all platforms, PC and console, for everybody. The team put a lot of effort toward all of this new feature. For the future, I'm really excited about what we will be building. Reputation system and commendation system. I hope
Commendation
you will
system.
enjoy the
Hello.
content.
Make a note of that.
Balancing
Right,
will have
Camille?
an important role in Operation Brutal Swarm.
Sorry.
We're evolving the way we handle
Did
weapon
did
recoil.
the subtitles just say bouncing will have an important role? Bouncing. I think she said balancing.
Balancing will have an important role in Operation Brutal Swarm.
Quality.
We're evolving the way we handle weapon recoil, which means the attachments you select will
This is
now
big.
have a bigger impact. Plus, some of your favorite operators will be getting a
Hey,
new
shout out
secondary
Lucasade for
gadget
getting me
option,
through this
the
hangover, by the
Impact
way.
EMP grenade. On top of that, there's exciting news for Rook and Dokkaebi. Welcome back Alexander Karpazis and Javier Sabarigo from the bouncing team to tell you more.
The bouncing team. All right, boys, what you got for us?
So in Brutal Swarm, this is our season of balance. We're taking a good hard look at our weapon handling, and recoil systems, which are scary topics to talk about, but they're very important for our game. One of the biggest changes we're making is separating the balancing between the PC world and the console world.
That's big for console players.
Will now be tuned separately than any other changes that we're doing on PC.
Yeah,
right
good,
now.
really good,
And that's
really
to
good
make sure
decision.
that we have player comfort in mind for all of the changes that we do want to make for console. That means all of the other changes we're talking
Excuse
about
me.
today only affect PC. We're making some changes to the recoil system. What we're looking at with vertical recoil is a stepping ladder of phases for these weapons.
Now, I have
For
played
ARs
this,
and
and
SMGs, you'll see there's 3 phases.
it's not
and
as
at
bad
each phase,
as that
you'll get
suggests.
an increase in recoil. For LMGs, this is even stronger.
That is true, though. The
especially
LMG
for
recoil is a lot
LMGs
higher,
and
but
high-capacity
when I was
magazine
playing it, I
weapons.
didn't notice a massive change
Here,
in the normal
with
guns.
horizontal recoil, you
This
can
is the
see that
biggest
the
change.
changes aren't as drastic. However, it goes by the same philosophy. The longer that you hold down the trigger, the more horizontal.
So when I was testing it on the test server, when you fire sort of 8 to 10 bullets, I didn't really notice a difference. But then when we got to like 12, 15 bullets, as that graph suggests, as you can see here, 15 bullets shot, that's when it started getting really bouncy side to side, which I think is a good thing because there's no way you should be able to hold, fire a full mag of 30 rounds without feeling a bit of sideways recoil.
Sway that you'll get
Or
with
sway,
an
should I say,
AR,
is the correct term, I
SMG,
think.
and LMG. We are now making sure that burst fire is the favored way to approach any kind of one-on-one
I don't know if I'd say
interaction.
burst fire. Yeah, so you can see the side-to-side recoil on the right is a lot more.
We looked at sustained
It's
fire,
bouncing around a bit.
and it has a lot of randomness that doesn't answer to what the core of Siege is,
Agreed.
which is tactical gunplay. So the big differences here is the longer you pull down the trigger, the more you'll have in recoil. We always want to encourage.
So I didn't notice vertical
strategy,
recoil being that much more,
holding
but the
correct
side-to-side
angle,
definitely
and
is more.
constant placement over
And the Finker's
holding down the
LMG, which you'll be
trigger,
pleased to know,
spraying
and
praying.
Zophia's LMG recoil is
And that's
definitely
why
more.
these changes
Definitely
are
higher.
Focusing on burst fire.
I don't like when you say
making sure
burst
that
fire because that
you're
sounds
making
like I'm going to
decisive
fire 3
shots
bullets
and
like
quick.
brrr, brrr,
So
but that's
that
not
we
how
don't
you're going to do it.
reward luck as much as we reward skill in the game. Another reason why this is a big change for us is the idea of bringing customization and the tools to players to make the decisions they want to make when it comes to their loadout. We're really opening up customization and
So I don't know if you want to go and look at another video on my channel, but I think probably the last video I posted before this one was I'll look at all the sites that operators are getting and losing, which is one of the biggest changes. It'll be completely meta changing next
you
season.
want to deal with recoil.
Go and
we
watch that
give you
video.
New options. Muzzle brake and flash hiders are coming to all of these weapon families. We're also bringing more grips, angled and vertical, and more scopes than ever before. That means that you can build your loadout the way that you want to play and it means that you're not stuck with a meta weapon. The other thing we're looking at too is making sure that every piece of customization is meaningful, that you actually have real choice between them all.
So there's a lot of, I haven't done a video on the grips yet, but there's a lot of guns which are getting angled grip. So, for example, Sledge is getting angled grip on the L85. The SMG-11 is going to have an angled grip. I don't think you'll use it though, because you'll just literally shoot the ceiling straight away.
Figure out what works for you, and it gives new freedom to how you want to play the game.
A lot of guns get an extended barrel as well.
Tactical gameplay that we have in Siege.
Not your best recoil control, whoever that is.
That are going to come out of this is new weapons that have long been determined not part of the meta or forgotten or nerfed to the point where they aren't used anymore, could get a second life. Feedback is always really important for us in Siege, especially when it's something as important as recoil. We organize the creators
LKG,
bringing people in to experience the gameplay changes, to get their feedback. We had Q&A sessions, and we won't stop there. It's really important for us that we grow on this and that we check to maintain the health of the meta.
Just noticed there, by the way, that's the Zafir LMG. It says it's Coconut Brought. Obviously, Coconut Brought isn't pulling down at this point, but when he gets to about 15 rounds fired, which is about here, look how much it bounces to the right. A little bit further back, right here.
And we won't stop there.
Watch it now, just go bang to the right-hand side. Look at that.
And that we check to maintain the health of the meta of the game, and we get all of your feedback as well. These are subtle changes that are changing the way that we can introduce new
MP7 with a long barrel there for Zero.
And we really do believe that this reinforces what Siege is all about.
As we introduced in the Year 7 season reveal, we were working on the EMP impact grenade. So
this is probably the biggest change.
It's the only one that can use the EMP grenade. So that's a little bit what we already do in the game with Maverick, Ivana, or Termite, and we added the hybrid secondary gadget. This new EMP impact grenade will have a range of 2 meters instead of 5 meters of the Thatcher's one. Also, gadgets and electricity will be disabled during 9 seconds instead of 15. It will work as an impact.
So just to reiterate that, Thatcher's EMP grenade has a range of 5 meters. This new one will only be a range of 2 meters. And when you Thatcher something, it's disabled for 15 seconds. This new EMP will be disabled for 9, which isn't a long amount of time when you consider how long it takes to place Habana pallets down, fire Habana pallets, and then wait for them to go off, and also place the hard breach charge now. So you're really going to have to be tight with your teammates and get the timings right.
Thatcher for sure.
And you can see that it doesn't roll on the floor. It goes off wherever you throw it. So you need to throw it at the wall to disable what's on the other side.
Will continue being the main operator to disable electricity.
A huge change, man.
The operators that will have the EMP impact as the third option are Sledge, Montaigne, Blackbird, Dokaebi, Lion, Gridlock, Nock, Osa, and the Recruit.
So bear in mind that he's just said there it's a third gadget option. So Sledge, who has frags and flashes, I think. Does anyone take anything but frags on Sledge? I think it's flashes or stuns, whatever you want to call it. There's going to be a third option there. So Sledge doesn't lose his nades, or Sledge doesn't lose his flashes if you want to play flashes. But you can take the EMP grenade as a third option.
And will be equipped with 2 gadget units. We hope that this change will have.
I don't think you see Thatcher banned anywhere near as much anymore.
Work on more situations to win the match, and also they will be able to play Thatcher with his cool loadout. We know that you had a little preview of this feature during the last test server, so we are going to introduce it right now. If the operator falls into DBNO while wearing an armor plate from Rook, they will be able to use the withstand ability. Once the withstand animation is finished, the operator will revive with 20 health points. The objective is to give more value to the Rook's armor plate.
Massive change for Rook. So it was on the test server mistakenly last season. So now you wear a Rook plate. If you get down, you can self-revive. I've talked to people about it already who've said that they think it's like a rubbish change and that he shouldn't be in the game. Don't forget, for this to happen, you need to play Rook. And if you're playing defense, which obviously you'll be playing defense, there's a lot of defenders I would rather take, in terms of utility, that give me more for the team, like an Aruni, a Jaeger, and a Bandit, or Wamai, whatever, that give me more than Rook just getting, self-revive. Because the amount of times you're down in a round, how many times does it happen? I don't know. I don't think it's that many.
Which can help us a lot if we fall into DBNO during the round. The Dokaebi Logic Bomb was not affecting the operators on the support mode, so from now, the dead operators will be affected as the life.
This is big.
But the Logic Bomb cannot be interrupted. With this change, we will be giving more importance to Dokaebi's ability, and will be more consistent.
So just to reiterate that, because when I watched this first time, I didn't quite understand that, but then I've been back and watched it again. So basically, when you're dead now and you're on cams, if Dokkaebi rings and uses her call, the dead players don't get affected by it at all. Whereas now, if you're a dead player and you're on cams, the logic bomb will affect you and you can't stop it. So using Dokkaebi as a push, when you know you need to go through an area where there's cams that you could be being watched on, using Dokkaebi now will be insane because even the dead players can't watch the cams. You know that all defenders are not on cams, so you can go where you want and do what you need to do. It's a huge change.
We've got 2 more new features to highlight that are coming this season. A new map ban system and a significant
This is also big.
upgrade to the tactical map. From our Barcelona studio, here's game designer Robert Cole to
From
share
Robbo.
more details.
So right now, the way the tactical map works is that it will show the spawn and objective locations, but it's true that it forces players to remember a lot of information, and even if the attackers find the objective, it will not be shown in the tactical map. We're doing a couple of quality of life changes to display the location of the
There's a lot of big
objective
changes this season that I really like.
operation phase. The attackers will also be able to see a list of potential objectives by the defense, and also an icon next to the location.
So yeah, when you're attacking, you can see where in the map the bomb site's going to be. So this will help with new maps, but it'll also help newer players as well, because this is one of the... You can learn the maps, but not only do you have to learn the maps, you then got to learn the bomb sites. Like, there's a lot to learn when you're playing Siege, so it'll help newer players. You've got people who've played the game for 6 years who know where the sites are at the back of their hand, but it'll certainly just help newer players. It's a nice little feature for them, and you can see on the left-hand side there, if they've already played a site and won the site and you can no longer go to the site, you can see that the other 3, I'm pointing at the screen here instead. I'm physically pointing on the screen as if you can see that instead of using my mouse. You can see that these other 3 sites, other than Bar and Lounge, are grayed out because they can't play those sites because they've already won them. Just need to stop pointing at the monitor.
And it will also show previously hidden information that maybe more experienced players already knew. But overall, it will help players focus on decisions that matter, like planning their attack, instead of feeling lost around the tactical map. We have been monitoring the map ban and pick rate, as well as the community...
Hey, get a load of this then.
Distribution. If we take a look at the data right now, we can see how we have 3 to 4 maps with over 10% of the play rate, as well as maps below the 4% mark. We understand that map ban has room for improvements, and we want to address some of these concerns with this season changes. We're changing the map ban phase to
get a load of that.
Maps instead of 3. That way, if both teams decide to ban one map, the final decision will be random between the 3 remaining maps. As well as, if both teams decide to ban the same map, the final decision will be between the 4 remaining maps. In the same case, if both teams decide not to ban any map, the final decision will be a random between the 5 remaining maps. With this change, we aim at...
You're going to see a lot more change, a lot more maps in the... I mean, the amount of ranked games that I play on Oregon, Cafe, and I mean, I love Clubhouse, so I'll play that every time if it was up to me, but the amount of ranked games I play on Oregon and Cafe, and I don't get to play Outback and Canal, and this is a controversial one. I actually really like Outback and Canal. Outback especially, I think it's quality since the rework.
We will continue to monitor the situation and the performance of this change.
Huge change. Big fan of that.
Adjustments necessary as part of
Sounds like I'm just sitting here going, great change. But I do think there's just a lot of good changes this season.
We also have future plans to tackle the exact problem of new maps being banned.
Yeah, that's... Sorry, Camille, I'm just going to have to stop you there. It's absolutely mad, isn't it, for how long people weren't... I think the last map that we had before Emerald Plains was Outback in whatever that season's called, Burnt Horizon or something, was it, with Gridlock and Mozzie? And then we finally get a new map with Emerald Plains and then everyone just bans it. Like, they moaned about not having a new map for so long and then just ban the new map anyway. It's wild.
Let's talk Brutal Swarm.
Let's talk about that, Camille.
Starting this season, the Battle Pass will come with a discount on all items in the shop.
Oh, nice. That's like it used to be.
If you like, you could buy one for your friend as a treat.
Oh,
more
just
details,
treat your friend.
Business Strategy Director Mohammed
Bold to assume you think I've got friends, Camille.
We're truly excited to bring back one of the...
Did you see that he was just like getting ready with what to say there? He's rubbing his hands. Like just as it cuts in, you can see that he's like looking at the cameraman and the cameraman must say like, yeah, ready, you're on. Watch.
We're truly excited to bring
You
back
can just
one
see
of the
he's been
first
given the
Battle
go-ahead.
Pass prior. So we're bringing back the shop discount. So what this means is for the Battle Pass owners, you'll be able to have the 10% shop discount during the season where you have the Battle Pass. And for our Year Pass owners, you will have it up until the end of Year 7.
Nice.
This 10% discount will apply on any items on the shop, whether it's on Arxis Credit or Renown. So this means Alpha Packs, Collection Packs, Elites, or Esports items. All of this will be at a 10% reduction.
Nice.
We know that Siege is a game that is best played with your friends. So we want you to be able to also experience the Battle Pass with one of your friends. So
This is a
during
cool
Season
feature.
2, we soft launched the Buy for a Friend feature for the Battle Pass. We're more confident in the system now, so in Season 3, we're deploying it everywhere. So what this means is that for you, as a player, you'll be able to purchase the Battle Pass for one of your friends. For the moment, buying the Battle Pass for one of your friends and gifting it is actually going to be only for the same platform as you. But looking in the future, once we'll be cross-platform and cross-progression, this is something that we're
Nice,
really
ain't
looking
it?
at.
This is a nice touch.
The only condition that you have for buying a Battle Pass is that you have to be friends with
Note the name of the account there.
the person for more than 90 days for now. So the buying for a friend is a feature that we'll be looking into expanding to other type of categories in the future.
So you got to be friends with them for more than 90 days.
Sports items, elites,
It's quite a long time, isn't it?
For now, we'll gather your feedback on how it performs around the Battle Pass.
When we say it's a good feature, it literally
And
just
finally,
means
here's when you could play Operation Brutal
more people
Swarm
buy,
on the season test server. Tomorrow.
that actually isn't true, is it? Because this was shown on Sunday, and today is Monday, and it's not available today. It's tomorrow, so you're wrong, Camille. I'm afraid.
Starting August 22nd, players can suit up as Grim
Not true.
and put his new gadget to the test. Be sure to share your feedback on R6 Fix, and thanks for sticking around to the end for our One More Thing.
One more thing.
Castle Elite. Enjoy.
So did you notice that the friend and when they were talking about buying the battle pass, the friend was named Castle. Anyway, this is just I don't think we need to watch this. This is the Castle Elite animation. In case you didn't know, Castle's getting an Elite. Looks pretty cool. Right, so just to highlight the big changes there for me. Getting the operators are topic in one like, but the map ban system, the EMP, and the weapon recoil balancing is gonna change things next season, and I'm all for it. So yeah, cheers for watching, and we'll probably skip to the first scene again now. So there we have it. That's my thoughts on Year 7 Season 3 Brutal Swarms reveal trailer. I think there's some big changes coming, even just subtle changes like the map ban system is just going to open up more maps that you get to play in ranked. You don't just play Borrigan, Cafe, and Club all the time. I think there's some super changes, and we're definitely not going to see Thatcher banned anywhere near as much, I don't think. But other than that, that wraps us up for this one, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.